Good evening. Good evening. Well, good afternoon. It is like probably 1 minute after one. I am so thankful to God for blessing me to be here on Point of View one more time and thanking Him for blessing you to be here with me today on Point of View. On Point of View. Have you ever asked yourself a question? I have a question that came to me today and I wanted to delve off into it and give us something to think about. Give us something to think about. What if we were not where we are today? Does our past influence our future? What if we were not where we are today? I'm going to turn the camera off for just a few seconds. Does our past influence our future? That is something to think about. Our past influence our future. So much to think about. So I'm going to psychology today. I'm going to NPR, and I think I'm going to Science Central today to talk about this. So there are three places, and if I have time, I'll go to all three places to talk about this. But this is super. It is really good. It makes inquiring minds want to know. And we know that slogan. We've heard it for years and years. Inquiring minds want to know. And then also that what is it? There's a mind is a terrible thing to waste. That's the what they call the Negro college slogan. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. So we are going to go into this. We're going to delve into it today. If I can get my mic plugged back in here, going to go into it. And dear God, as I said before you just speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Oh man, isn't it a wonderful thing that we have life today? Life is right here. We are enjoying our lives. And I am so thankful for that. And I cannot live my life without acknowledging the fact that there is someone higher than me, someone that's controlling my life as well as yours. But I'll leave that up to you. Okay? I'll leave that up to you. But I am certainly thankful for everything that God has done for me. He's a wonderful, awesome God. I'm getting my monitor here on Facebook. That's what I'm doing right now. He's an on time God. Yes, He is. He's always there when you need Him, and He'll always be there on time. He's an on time God. Yes, He is. And I am so thankful. So, where would we be today? Do you know? Have you ever thought, where would I be today? What would I be doing? It's so much to think about, isn't there? So much to think about. I'm trying to get my Facebook here so I can monitor here because I like to see what's going on. See what's going on. Yes, I do. You're wonderful, and I appreciate you so much for being here with me. You are awesome, awesome, awesome. And I'm doing something here where I need to get back to where I want to be here on the Facebook so I can see that I'm here live. Make sure that I'm here. Okay, there I go. There I go. Okay, there I am. All up in the camera. Hi again. Thank you so much. I love you because you know and understand me, and you know that I'm just who I am. I have no pretenses trying to be somebody I'm not. I'm here and I love sharing information. I miss Cleaster, Maritha, and Eula, their presence on the show with me. But one day, God willing, they'll be back on the show with me. But this point of view with Shirley Polk has been online since, oh my God, goodness, I don't know whether it's 2009. It's been quite a while, and I am so thankful to God. Okay, we're going to get into our subject here, our topic here. What if we were not where we are now? Does our past influence our future? Does our past influence our future? So we're going to dig off into that. Oh, yes, we are. Okay, does our past, and we're going to go to, I think I'm going to go to NPR first. And it's this, the author here, well, this, it's by one, two, three, four, five people, I believe. Brianna Cohen, Shankar Vedantam, Laura Quirrell, Tara Boyle. So they released this in June 14, 2018. And it is looking back, reflecting on the past to understand the present. Looking back, reflecting on the past to understand the present. So, where would we be if we were not here today or in this place where we are today? That's very interesting to me. And I'm so thankful for the question that the Spirit of God put in my mind and helped me to dig off into this. So, in a way, all of us are time travelers. How about that? In a way, all of us are time travelers. If we just pause and close our eyes, we can wander back to our first kiss, our first breakup, that grandparent we should have visited, the summer that went on forever. So this week, or today, I would say, we explore two emotions that pull us into the past. That's regret and nostalgia. How can we make these feelings work for us? And what can we learn from them? Now, this topic here on NPR is looking back, reflecting on the past to understand the present. And I have two questions here. What if we were not where we are right now? Does our past influence our future? So that is quite a good thing to think about. Does our past influence our future? And so this article is telling us that in a way we're all time travelers. If we pause and we close our eyes, and I'm repeating this, we can wander, WANDER, back to our first kiss, our first breakup, the grandparent we should have visited, and the summer that went on forever. And we remember those summers, don't we? We remember our summers because every summer we would go down home. Where's down home? Clarksville, Texas. And there are some communities in Clarksville. There's one, Chapel Hill is where Grandma and Papa, Daddy's parents were. And then they moved to town to Norman Hill. And Ackworth is where Mama's mother and her stepfather and her brothers and sister lived. And that's where we have property there today down in Ackworth, Texas. So this week we explored two emotions that pull us into the past, and that is regret and nostalgia. Okay? So, how can we make these feelings work for us? And what can we learn from them? We can always learn something from every experience. It's just what effect it has on us through the learning process. Do we make it positive or negative, or do we turn the negative into positive and use it to enhance our lives further in the future? So we have to deal with that, okay? So we're talking about two emotions of past in the past, there's regret and nostalgia. How can we make them work for us? By some estimates, regret is the most common negative emotion in our everyday lives. At the Regret Lab in Miami University in Ohio, psychologist Amy Somerville has found that a big part of why we struggle with regret has to do with the idea of rumination. It's a word that comes from bovine digestion, okay? It's a word, rumination is a word that comes from bovine digestion. For cows, it's the act of chewing, digesting, and chewing again. And in terms of our thoughts, it's the same kind of process. And so, what we say about the cows, and we say chewing their cud. And if you have ever seen cows, if you've ever been around cows, and they're constantly chewing, so they're chewing their cud. So what it is the word comes from bovine digestion. For cows, it's the act of chewing, digesting, and chewing again. So that's what we call chewing the cud, okay? All right, we learned. That's what we call it because we grew up in the country because we would stay, I started saying that. We would stay 2 weeks with Grandma and Papa in Chapel Hill, and we would stay 2 weeks with Mulla and Mr. Jimmy in Ackworth every summer. And oh, it was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Those were the days. So now we're going to look back, reflecting on the past to understand the present. So, all right. So look at the question that I asked. And so this is going to help us to ponder and wonder and wonder and remember, reflect on this, and we're going to see and think about it. We cannot really, if there's no definite um, way that we can say that we know where we would be today if we were not here today. Okay? We don't know if we weren't in the position we're in today. But we can ponder, wonder, and wonder on it, okay? So we're chewing them over without actually getting anything new out of them. Talking about these emotions, okay? Looking back, reflecting on the past to understand the present. We're chewing them over without actually getting anything new out of them. She says people who have ruminative regret tend to be the people who are experiencing the most negative outcomes. But Somerville says that while we tend to experience regret negatively, we can often recast those old what if moments in a more productive way. Her advice: remember that it may not be all your fault. Now, listen to this, it may not be all your fault. You're just one agent in a bigger framework, she says. So there's a big element of nostalgia that isn't about us retreating to the past. It's about us pulling the past forward to the future. I like this. I like this. This is NPR, okay? There is a big element of nostalgia that isn't about us retreating to the past. It's about us pulling the past forward to the present. So Clay Rutledge says, oh, that was we're getting to him, okay. Psychology professor Clay Routledge studies nostalgia, that gently tug of longing you feel when you hear a favorite song from your high school days, or even recall moments of hardship and loss. And oh, yes, we've all felt that, haven't we? So, Clay Routledge, Routledge, studies nostalgia, that gentle tug. What is nostalgia? Okay, that gentle tug of longing you feel when you hear a favorite song from your high school days, and we can remember some of those songs, can't we? Or even recall moments of hardship and loss, and we remember so many things. Routledge says that some of the most interesting nostalgic memories he has studied come from older British adults who were children during World War II when Germany was bombing Great Britain. So, though many of them were sent to the countryside and separated from their families, he says these difficult memories stripped away all the nonsense of life and reminded them now precious, or excuse me, reminded them how precious it is. He says that taking time to reminisce, even about the hard times, can help you rewrite the story of your life. So there is a big element of nostalgia that isn't about us retreating to the past, he says. It's about us pulling the past forward to the present and using it to mobilize us, to energize us, to take on the new challenges and opportunities. And I do agree with that. It's amazing. It's amazing. So he has some references, resources here that he used. And hey, wow, this is going on. I think we're finished with this piece. How about that? And I was going to tell you something about the author here. Well, there are five of them, four or five of them. So I am going to go to the next one that ended a little quicker than I thought it would. Psychology Today. The future has ways of surprising us. The future has ways of surprising us. Your view of the future is shaped by the past. So, what is my question? You can read it there as it's scrolling along, okay? As it's scrolling along. Now, your view of the future is shaped by the past. The future has ways of surprising us, and yes, it does. And this is uh, reviewed by Jessica Schrader. Jessica Schrader. This is Psychology Today. So it seems easy to think about what you will be doing next week. In general, your life next week feels like it would be a lot like your life in this week. You will have the same friends, you'll have the same job, you'll have the same home. Home, that's what it looks like, okay? Your distant future is a bit murkier. It is hard to picture where you'll be living, what you'll be doing, and who you will be spending time with. That's in the distant future. We just don't know, do we? And the questions that I have scrolling along, we cannot definitely answer those questions, but it sure makes us think, doesn't it? So, how do you envision your future? This question was explored in a paper in August 2011 issue of Memory and Cognition by Kathleen Arnold, Kathleen McDermott, and Carl Spooner. Spooner, okay? So they start by pointing out that your ability to envision the future is strongly influenced by your memory for the past. We can't get away from that, can we? So that is, you tend to use memories of past experiences to predict what your life will be like in the future. It's easier to use your memories when the future you are predicting is close in time. Chances are you have experienced many specific locations and events that are like the ones you will encounter next week. As a result, you can do a good job of simulating what your life will be like next week. It is harder to guess what memories from your past will be relevant for the understanding your life in the distant future. And so it is harder to make specific predictions. It's harder. So, like the questions that came to me, that were put in my mind, we cannot definitely answer those, but we can sure be thinking about it, and we can be pondering over it and just remembering some things and then putting things together and thinking, yeah, that seems like it might be right, might have some significance in my life. Didn't think about it that way, did I? So, indeed, in one study, people were asked to event, envision an event that was going to happen next week or in 5 years. After thinking about this future event, people were asked whether it was set in a familiar location. People were far more likely to set a predicted future event in a familiar location if they were thinking about the near future than if they were thinking about the distant future. Another study demonstrated that it is possible to make more specific predictions for the future by imagining that future in a familiar place rather than an unfamiliar place. For example, college students asked to envision an event happening 5 years from now in their current dorm room were able to make much more specific predictions about that event than those asked to envision an event happening at the Egyptian pyramids. Wow, that's neat. So why does this matter? Why does it matter? We use our ability to envision the future to help us make plans. And we do. If we think about it, yes, we do. Our beliefs about what might happen in the future help us to plan for obstacles that will confront us. So, a lot of good research on planning suggests that those people who prepare for failure are the ones best equipped to handle problems when they come up. So, if they prepare for failure, they say they're the best equipped to handle the problems when they come up. So, by setting your predictions for the future in a familiar landscape, you allow yourself to use your memories of the past to help you predict what might go wrong in the future. If you are only able to think abstractly about the future, then you are much less likely to find specific problems that may arise. This is amazing, isn't it? I was talking to someone the other day. I don't quite remember who it was. I don't talk to that many people, but I was talking to someone and I was saying it is so amazing and how God planned us. He created us and He put memory in us. He blessed us with memory so we can remember the things of our past and think on those things. And many of them bring us joy, some bring us sadness, but that memory helps us to know what went on in the past, leading up to our present and going on into our future. It's amazing how He equipped us. And I was thinking, it came to me, we have 2 ears, we have 2 eyes, we have 2 nostrils, we have 2 lips, we have 2 sets of teeth. Well, we say it's a set of teeth. We have 2 parts of teeth here. We have 1 tongue, okay? And we have 2 hands, we have 2 arms, we have 2 legs, we have two of this and that and the other. He equipped us. If one goes out, we can still use the other. Isn't that amazing? How God put us, we are resilient. We are wonderfully and fearfully made. It is just awesome how He thought about us from the beginning, way uh, beyond the beginning, because He has been forever up to now, where we are now. It's just so amazing how He made us and equipped us with our memories. Clearly, the future has ways of surprising us, and nobody can be completely prepared for what the future will bring. And I know all of us, everyone watching me and under the sound of my voice, knows that to be a fact. But it is important to recognize that the only way you can plan for the future is by drawing on your memories of the past. Amazing. Envisioning your future in a specific location gives you the best chance of helping yourself succeed. It's so amazing. Oh my goodness, that is the end of that. And so, Art Markman, PhD, is the one that wrote this. He's a cognitive scientist at the University of Texas whose research spans a range of topics in the way people think. It's amazing. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. I'm almost about to get disappointed because I think that that is it for what I pulled up today, talking about our future and where would we be if we were not here today. Where do you think you would be if you were not where you are today? Do you think you would be in a better place? If we know it's definitely not possible to know that. But we can think about it. I thank God. I thank God. Some of us have said, Lord, I thank you that I'm not where I used to be. And we've heard people testify and say that. I thank God. He said, I'm not, you see, where I want to be, they say, but I thank God that I'm not where I used to be. Think about your past and think about your future because we cannot have a future if we did not have a past. And it's just so amazing at how God has blessed us. So the question is, what if we were not where we are now? The man is more than the yard out there, so I know you hear. So does our past influence our future? We know that we've come to the conclusion that it does because God has blessed us with memory. He has blessed us to recollect what happened to us in the past, and we can remember that, and then that can help us to have a future that's more progressive and more successful. Even though all of our past was not bad, but our future can be even better by the grace of God. Okay? I love you so much, and I'm not going to just jibber jabber, but I did have another piece that I wanted to bring to you today, and I wow. I'm just going to close out today, and I just thank you so much for being with me. So, looking at the question scrolling across the bottom of the screen, think about it and let me know what you think, okay? I love you so much. Thank you so much for being with me on Point of View today. Tomorrow, God willing, join us for From the Biblical Files of Dr. Mack at 2:15 p.m. And on Thursday at 1 p.m. will be Point of View with Shirley Polk again, God willing. And on Saturday evening at 7:39 p.m. will be Greater Gospel Temple and Inspirational God Ministries. The Saturday evening Bible lesson session on Sunday morning will be Sunday morning, manna from heaven. I love you and I thank you again for being with me. And I'm going to sign off now. And I'm happy that God has blessed me to be with you today. You are awesome. And as I say, God is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Enjoy your day. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.